Alright, so we got access to this internet horror creature thingy, so let's take some notes. What you got, rookie? Alright, I got it. Alright, there are 4 girls. 2 of them get sick because of this whatever it's called. And they have to figure out why one of them disappeared because of the whatever it's called. And the big twist, he turns them into trees. What? Give me my money! That's it, we really didn't need it anymore anyway. So I am Confusion. Sorry for the delay on this. I was originally going to talk about Unfriended 2, but that turned into a completely different project for another day. So I finally got around to see Slender Man. Now, when people told me about this film or requested me to watch it, all of the opinions were extremely negative, and all in all, it's just considered a really bad film. However, I think that there are some interesting factors to this. It's no masterpiece, but it definitely could have been worse. I think it's mainly because I've known Slender Man since I was an angsty teenager. I used to watch PewDiePie's videos of him playing the original game and watch the progression of his popularity, which included the shit nature of the creepypasta fandom. To me, this film had some very accurate connotations to Slender Man. They even used the original photographs from way back in the day. There was a good amount of sound design that Slender was represented by, and it was like branches breaking and trees shifting. That I thought was pretty interesting. They also got the Slender sickness down to a T, even though some of the visuals were eyesores at times. They managed to show what the monster is able to do to your brain. Besides that, the biggest problem with the film is the plot. It's a huge clusterfuck, and does not stay consistent throughout the entire film. The basic summary is that you have 4 teenage girls living a life and living large in an unnamed forest area, and they decide to unleash Slender Man by watching a Red Room video with the Illuminati symbol flashing you into a seizure. Yeah, they reduced him to a cursed video. So Katie, Chloe, Allie, and Ren, the whitest names on Earth, pretty much can be summed up by the list of who got affected the most. Katie gets taken away by Slender Man after going on a school field trip to a graveyard. Because of course you would go to a graveyard that's the size of a park for a field trip. It's a horror movie, get it? I'm surprised they just didn't go to a morgue just to look at the dead bodies of all the deceased villagers in the forest. That would have made so much more sense. Actually, that would have been really cool. Ah, fuck you, brain. Ren, in my opinion, was the only one with a brain, at least until the end. Throughout the entire film, she was the only one figuring out that Slender Man was the cause of why Katie disappeared in the first place. She managed to convince Chloe and Allie to sacrifice something they loved in order to get Slender Man to get to them, which they were pretty much unemotional about that, by the way, even though one of those sacrifices being a photograph of a dead relative. This is where the film forgets its own rules, because it's established that if you look at the Slender Man's face, you get sick. Chloe looked at his face and ended up getting sick later, but here's the thing, Ren and Allie saw his face more than once and they didn't get sick. They just got the hallucinations and just didn't get affected at all. This is the start of the clusterfuck. The main character kept changing between Ren and Allie, aka the one actually trying to solve the mystery, and the other, "Ooh, maybe it's not a monster. We shouldn't make a big deal out of it." Allie was annoying. I hated her. She literally went off to screw with some boy, then rather than to try to help find her missing friend. Thankfully, Slender Man cock-blocked that Discord in a scene that was hilariously bad. Honestly, I think Slender Man was just horny through this whole thing. He cock-blocked Allie twice, caressed Ren's face like a loving husband, and then had Allie dream that she was pregnant. Slendy, please. At least do it to me first. Bottom line, what it all leads up to is Allie being the lead, which again, I hated her. Oh, and Chloe gets left behind, never to be seen again, by the way. So, yeah. Sorry. This was the ultimate break for this film. Allie's little sister Lizzie gets infected with the Slender sickness and goes mentally out of it. Allie finds out that Ren sent her into the forest to give her to Slender Man, which I was actually surprised by, mainly because of how much of a bitch move that was. But it led to a pretty dumb twist, which was instead of Slender Man taking the things the girls loved, he wanted them, specifically, instead. The most obvious thing on the planet. So after that, twist that even Shamarama Ding Dong would look at and say, please never ask me for anything again, Ren gets taken away by Slendy, leading to Allie going into the forest to confront the monster. She whispers, "Take me," and runs away. I know I joke about memes in these videos, but this is literally the equivalent of that "Why are you running? Why are you running?" meme. And yes, she gets turned into a tree. And it just ends. Just like that. So, what are my final thoughts about this film as a whole? It's a mess. Though I think I see it as a different mess compared to the mass majority. Is Slender Man 5 years late to the party? Yes. Is it a stupid premise? Yes. Are the main characters duller than dirt and annoying as hell? Yes. But I will give props to the creators, at least what they tried to achieve with the Slender Man monster himself. It was pretty darn accurate. I really did feel nostalgic watching him on the screen. It was like I was a 14-year-old kid watching the weird staticky videos from Marble Hornets, and it was interesting to say the least. And as someone who's just really into sound design and just different like visual elements in horror, it was very, very intriguing. People seem to, like, have way too many high expectations for this movie. I think, like, the biggest complaint people had was either it's 5 years late, or they didn't take anything from Marble Hornets, or it's nothing like Marble Hornets. And to that I say, are you honestly expecting Hollywood to go in depth that much with something called Slender Man? I give Hollywood a lot of benefit of the doubt when it comes to that type of thing, but when you're talking a Hollywood horror movie that revolves around a subject that was popular on the internet, I really don't think they were ever going to take advantage of what was there other than the monster himself and his basic characteristics. And if it wasn't for the fact that he was summoned by a cursed video, like a knockoff of The Ring, I probably would have, you know, praised it a lot more, but I honestly can't. I guess I'm just one of those people that just really wants to care more about the monster than I really do care about the characters in a horror movie, unless it's, like, insanely good. So, when it comes to these characters in the film, again, I was rooting for Ren, and honestly, the part where she lured Allie's little sister into the woods, I was kind of expecting her to possibly become a proxy, kind of like a shocking twist surprise that she betrayed her friends and is trying to sacrifice people to Slender Man, you know, the whole 9 yards. But it was just a wasted opportunity. It was really, really wasted, and the characters... I've noticed that this is a thing with a lot of horror movies, especially these modern day ones, that the characters are decent enough or tolerable when it comes to, you know, in comparison to the actual threat that's gonna kill them, but when it comes to, like, their actions towards the end of the film, it's always downhill. They go from being these somewhat intelligent, somewhat know what they're doing, realistic, to just, we gotta make shit happen at the end, we gotta make sure it's scary, so we have to make these characters do stupid stuff in order for it to work properly, let alone what exactly is happening in the first place. So it's just, I wish more horror movies nowadays would do that. It's a rare gem to get nowadays, especially with these monster movies. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my opinion on Slender Man and this rendition of horror gag theater. I'll see you all next time, and please, stay away from the forest. Actually, just don't search anything on the internet ever, because you'll end up turning into a tree, I guess. I don't know. Thank you all for watching this episode of Horror Gag Theater. If you have any suggestions on anything and all horror that you want me to discuss or review, leave a comment below, or leave any suggestions on my Twitter, my DeviantArt, whatever the hell you want. I'd like to also give a big thanks to Skittlez Juice for helping me fix my sprites, and TheNamesJunkie for helping me with my brand new intro. You guys are my bestest friends in the whole world, like holy shit, why are you so nice to me? Speaking of nice, let's go move on to the fan art feature! And we have 7 lovely pieces created by the following: Alduin Glajinka, Anon Redraw, SunArt123, Worst Waifu, Put125, The Willow Fox, and Dreamwalk Felix. If you guys have fan art that you want to send to me or you want featured in the next video, please leave a link or just send it to me anywhere. It's like, just give it to me if you want to. I really love to see what you guys do with Alice. I'm so thankful for all this fan art. You guys make Alice so adorable. I love it. Alright, hope you guys see you next time. Enjoy the vomit show.